This video is for educational and entertainment use only. The views in this video do not necessarily represent the views or life of Marlon Dixon.
Welcome back to Duffle LO to Sit Down, and we are here again today, and I found an interesting clip, a short on YouTube, and I want you guys to listen to this so we can get into it. I'm gonna use this clip to talk about 3 other videos, but I'm gonna play the clip in every video. So this is gonna be part 1. Let me share my screen really quick. And here we are right here. So this is the video. Pay attention to what's being said.
And it makes a big difference to tell the American people the truth about what our options are in ending this war. If tomorrow the order goes out from I'm President of the United States, I issue an order, end the war today, begin to withdraw all American troops. It will take a year to get the American troops out. You hear me now? That's the truth. It will take a year to get them physically out. Now, if you leave all the equipment behind, you might be able to do it in 7 months. And you leave those billions of dollars of weapons behind, I promise they're going to be used against your grandchild and mine someday.
So that was Joe Biden years ago when he was not the president. And he talked about what would happen if they withdrew the troops out. So as we all know, it's 2022, the troops were withdrawn, the weapons stayed over there. So let's go to the articles so you guys can see what came from that and why they were saying that. Why is this clip not going viral when he already stated if he was president, what he would do? Then he became president and he did it. So here we go right here. We have Biden. What's the date on that? Biden will withdraw all U.S. forces from Afghanistan by September 11, 2021. And this is from April 13, 2021. So you see this forever ago. So President Biden will withdraw all, he had just became president in January. President Biden will withdraw all American troops from Afghanistan over the coming months, U.S. officials said, completing the military exit by the 20th anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 attacks that drew the United States into its longest war. The decision, which Biden is expected to announce Wednesday, will keep thousands of U.S. forces in the country beyond the May 1st exit deadline that the Trump administration negotiated last year with the Taliban, according to a senior administration official who briefed reporters Tuesday under rules of anonymity set by the White House. So Trump was already in talks with the Taliban of removing some of the soldiers from over there. I don't know if Trump was going to remove all of them, but I think that he was going to do a slow exit and had a deadline. While the Taliban has promised to renew attacks on U.S. and NATO personnel if foreign troops are not out by the deadline, and said in the statement it would not continue to participate in any conference about Afghanistan's future until all foreign forces have departed. It is not clear whether the militants will follow through with the earlier threats, given Biden's plan for a phased withdrawal between now and September. The Taliban has conducted sputtering talks with the Afghan government begun under the Trump deal since last fall. It was also invited to an additional high-level inter-Afghan discussion in Turkey later this month. So they already been in talks, and they were supposed to, Trump gave them a deadline to get out by May. Trump was under the impression that he would be president again. Trump won president again. Biden came in and said, we're going to be out by September, the 20th anniversary of September 11th. So now they were saying that they're going to end up attacking. As you can see, the Taliban promised to renew attacks. They saying if they ain't out by the deadline, they're going to renew attacks, which means they're going to start attacking again. So this is going to be the leeway to the next video of why possibly, and I theorize that this is why they left those weapons over there. Hey, we ain't out by the deadline. We'll leave the weapons to you guys. So let's keep moving. Officially, there are 2,500 U.S. troops in Afghanistan. Although the number fluctuates and is currently about 1,000 more than that, there are also up to additional 7,000 foreign forces in the coalition there. The majority of them NATO troops. If you guys don't understand what NATO is, that's all the other countries together, and they together as an army. So this country, that country, that country, that country, all of them together as one is NATO. Biden's decision comes after an administration review of U.S. options in Afghanistan, where U.S. midwife peace talks have failed to advance as hoped, and the Taliban remains a potent force despite 2 decades of effort by the United States to defeat the militants and establish stable democratic governance. I just told y'all, your psychology in the last video, when you really want to do something, you're going to do it. They were not trying to make their country stable how the U.S. wanted. They wanted to run their country how they wanted to run their country. And they've been at war with the #1 power for 20 years. And they did not give up. Note that. The war has cost trillions of dollars in addition to the lives of more than 2,000 U.S. service members. At least 100,000 Afghan civilians have been injured or killed. Trillions of dollars, lives lost, and nothing really came from it. It was a war, and the U.S. didn't get their interest. The Taliban may get their interest. I don't know, but as you guys can read an article like you read with me. This is the immediate practical reality that our policy review discovered, said one person familiar with the closed-door deliberations who, like others, spoke on a condition of anonymity to discuss policy planning. If we break the May 1st deadline negotiated by the previous administration with no clear plan to exit, we will be back at war with the Taliban. And that was not something President Biden believed was in national interest, was in the national interest. So after 20 years of fighting these people, they having secret meetings, as you can see, the anonymity, and they discussing these meetings. Biden ain't want to go to war with them. Clearly says he don't believe that that's in the national in the interest of the country. So they was already trying to get out of that. The goal is to move to 0 troops by September. None. The senior administrative official said, this is not conditions-based. The president has judged that a conditions-based approach is a recipe for staying in Afghanistan forever. If we don't do, if y'all do this, then we'll leave. That's a condition-based. They know we got to just take everybody, let them have their country, and we just take everybody. And he said he has reached the conclusion that the United States will complete its drawdown and will remove its forces from Afghanistan before September 11th. The decision highlights the trade-offs the Biden administration is willing to make to shift the U.S. global focus from the counterinsurgency campaigns that dominated the post-9/11 world to current priorities, including increasing military competition with China. So we can't go to war with China and go to war in Afghanistan. We got to choose A or B. So some got to give. In addition to major domestic challenges, the reality is that the United States has big strategic interests in the world. The person familiar with the deliberation said, like non-proliferation, like an increasingly aggressive and assertive Russia, like North Korea and Iran, whose nuclear programs pose a threat to the United States, like China, the main threats to the American homeland are actually from other places, from Africa, from parts of the Middle East, Syria, and Yemen. Afghanistan just does not rise to the level of those other threats at this point, the person said. That does not mean we're turning away from Afghanistan. We're going to remain committed to the government, remain committed diplomatically, but in terms of where we will be investing force posture, our blood and treasure, we believe that other priorities merit that investment. So what they saying is the U.S. got threats from so many other different countries right now that they resources in Afghanistan, we need to withdraw those resources because we need to go put them somewhere else to fight these other situations that's going on that's in the best interest of the country. Reaction in Washington was divided. In a statement on the Senate floor, Minority Leader Mitch McConnell called the plan reckless and a grave mistake. It is a retreat in the face of an enemy that has not yet been vanquished and abdication of American leadership. You are a superpower. They are not a superpower, and you just leave and you turn your back and you retreat. That's not American leadership, is what Mitch McConnell was saying. McConnell pointed to a 2019 amendment passed by a supermajority of senators when President Donald Trump called for a full withdrawal from Syria. That requires the administration to certify that conditions have been met for the enduring defeat of Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State before initiating any significant withdrawal of the United States forces from Syria or Afghanistan. So now when we know that we already getting ready to win, now we can start backing out. Can President Biden certify that right now, McConnell adds? But while McConnell cited broad political support for an ongoing military presence in Afghanistan, other lawmakers call it a right decision. There are no good, easy decisions here, said Representative Adam Smith, Democrat from Washington, chairman of the House Armed Services Committee. Given the options, I think this is the best choice. So you got some people that saying, hey, Biden is right. You got some people saying, hey, Biden, that looked like you just running away. What we doing here? We cannot impose a solution on Afghanistan, Smith said in an interview. I don't doubt for a second there is going to continue to be violence and turbulence, but the main transnational terrorist threat, is now elsewhere. We can only be in so many places. We have to make choices, and those choices are not easy. It's not as if we didn't put in time in Afghanistan. Now we didn't put in time. So we can only be in so many places, which means the U.S. are getting threats from so many different angles that they got to make the right decision. Say, hey, are we going to guard against them? Are we going to be allies with them? Are we going to do all this stuff? What are the American people doing with this? Some officials have warned that a U.S. exit will lead to the collapse of the cabal government while jeopardizing gains made over the past 2 decades in health, education, and women's rights. See that right there? This right here is what it was over. Right here. This right here. Education and women's rights. Education, why? Because they were going to the country and they would educate them in the West's type of mentality. But because it's a Muslim country, they won't have the same type of thinking as other countries. And when it comes to women's rights, as you can see in America, no matter what a man does or what a woman does, she will always be the victim because they giving her all the rights. Like, and it's so much double jeopardy that she can do this, but he can't do this. It's crazy. But in that country, the man is the head of the household and the woman is the submissive wife to the man or wives. Trying to get those women to act as if they in America and go against their husband. These men said, no, y'all not gonna get our women to go against us like that. That's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to war with y'all, but y'all thinking y'all gonna come over here and tell our women how they gonna act. No, we ain't taking it. And they went to war. Biden administration officials say that the United States intends to remain closely involved in the peace process and will continue to provide humanitarian aid and assistance to the Afghan government and security forces, which remain almost totally dependent on foreign support. So they can't, the Afghan government can't even go to war with the Taliban. The Taliban going to war with a world power, and they helping y'all to fight them, but they getting ready to retreat, and now they gonna leave y'all there, which it already happened. What we will not do is use our troops as bargaining chips, the senior official said. We went to Afghanistan to deliver justice to those who attacked us on September 11. We believe we achieved that objective some years ago, the senior official said, and now judge the threat to the United States to be at a level that we can address it without persistent military footprint. They said Bin Laden did it. They got Bin Laden years ago. So they saying, all right, look, we came over here, did what we supposed to do. We're going to leave y'all alone now. Biden, who argued unsuccessfully during the Obama administration for a small counterterrorism focused presence, had already hinted that the United States will remain for only a limited time beyond the May 1st deadline. And this is Biden going over that. Last month, he said he did not expect U.S. troops to be deployed there next year. We will leave, he said at the White House news conference, but the question is when we leave. Administration officials are in the process of notifying officials in NATO nations, as well as Afghan officials and the Taliban on Tuesday. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, in a statement from his office, said that he would have no comment until an upcoming phone call with Biden to officially share details of the new withdrawal plan. The senior official also said that the Taliban was reminded of its commitments under the Trump deal and warned against attacking departed U.S. forces. Taliban spokesman Zabullah Mujahid said the militants will officially respond when the U.S. formally announces its plans, presumably by Biden on Wednesday. We don't want to hear from nobody but him. Y'all saying y'all gonna leave here. Y'all saying y'all gonna do this. Y'all saying y'all gonna do that. We not trying to hear that. We want when he announce it, and he formally announced it, which means he get behind that podium and he announced it to the people, then we're gonna know that it's real. The official said the U.S. withdrawal would be fully coordinated with NATO and other coalition partners, citing NATO's in together, out together mantra. The senior official said, we will take the time we need to execute that and no more time than that. The official said withdrawal will begin before May 1st and might well be completed before September. Many NATO governments have said they have no desire or ability to remain without the logistical security and other support of the U.S. forces provide. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in Brussels. Let's see, they talk about that. All right, we're gonna leave it at that. So we're gonna leave it at that, but this is what I want to show y'all before we leave it at that, right? Leaving Afghanistan, that's better. Let's see. Because it clearly shows you, like, with them leaving, like, people was trying to hop on a plane, like, all type of stuff was happening when they was leaving. Like, it was crazy.
Out of Bagram Air Base without celebrations or fanfare. The U.S. military, citing security concerns, is not saying when or how troops are leaving. Bases are shutting down without hardly a peep. At the White House, President Biden also did not want to draw attention to Afghanistan, bristling when reporters pressed him today about the impact of the withdrawal.
Are you worried that the Afghan government...
Come on, man. Look, why is it? You clearly can low system resources like that.
Stop this. As U.S. troops leave, some Afghan security units are collapsing. The Taliban's propaganda channels in confirmed events show Afghan police and soldiers giving up their bases and their weapons. The Taliban have even been handing out pocket money to pay for their transport home. Humiliation. Most Afghans do not want the Taliban to return. Zaman Ahmadi is studying to be a computer engineer. He taught.
Let's go back.
I think they have the capacity to be able to sustain the government.
I thought on Afghanistan.
I want to talk about happy things, man. I'm not going to answer any more question on Afghanistan. Look, it's 4th of July.
But not talking about it won't stop this. As U.S. troops leave, some Afghan security units are collapsing. The Taliban's
So you guys can clearly see right there. That's how the exit happened. That was the exit right there for you. You've seen when it was time for him to ask, he didn't want to answer no questions. Y'all seen it. They start turning their weapons in. They start going home. They left all the weapons over there. So that's the next video that we're going to get ready to get into. So hopefully you guys learned something in this video. This is real. This was going on. A lot of things are going to change. Life has changed since 2019, 2020, when the situation came around. But I want you guys to pay attention to this video. Hopefully you learned something. And let's get into the next video when they actually left the weapons over there. That's the next article goes. So that's all I got to say.
This video is for educational and entertainment use only. The views in this video do not necessarily represent the views or life of Marlon Dixon.